MVP, MCT. He is a blogger, speaker, YouTuber, and whatever you say. Okay, so he is actually mainly responsible for all the most of, I mean, like whatever the event that is happening in the Singapore community. Yeah. So, and yeah, we are proud to present Goloknath Mishra, and over to you, sir. You can continue on your topic. Yeah.
Hello everyone. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, yes, can hear you,
Okay,
Golok. Yeah.
okay, perfect. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can see, Golok.
Okay, perfect. Hi everyone. If you see the topic today to discuss, it's all about the responsible AI. And just from the introduction point of view, this is all about me. I don't, if you want to know more, you can scan this QR to know. Coming back to the agenda of today, I won't go much into the slides on this discussion. So I'm just taking everyone through how exactly evolution happened, maybe few basics of AI and how the governing principle. Then we will go to the demo. Okay, so agenda point of view, evolution, how AI happened and why needed, and what is the responsibleness principles, Microsoft AI portfolio, Azure, OpenAI, and other things. So last we will see the demo. So let's quickly understand. This is again, I know most of the people already know how the AI evolution happened. First, we started with AI, artificial intelligence, then machine learning came in 1997, then deep learning in 2017, then generative AI in 2021 onwards. I think everyone after the COVID, you all know about the Copilot, ChatGPT. That's what is all about, craze, right? So that is the evolution of AI. Let's understand how Microsoft is empowering AI in across. If you see Microsoft empowering AI in the format of Copilot, in it start from end user even to the makers to technical workers. That means you understand end users means who are don't know what exactly technology is all about. They don't want even interested to touch a single line of code. Forget about the code, not even configuration. For them, how they will just type and they get the answer. It's all about the end user empowerment. Okay, so which you can see in the Teams, you can see in the SharePoint, you can see in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Okay, so as you know, nowadays it's quite really helpful, even for me also. When I attend for the meeting, sometimes you miss anything content, meeting started, you join little bit late, you just turn on the Copilot. Copilot will summary for you what is the next action item you have to do, what are the things, and all this. It will really giving a very precisely what action items you need to perform. That's the beauty of Copilot in the ecosystem from the end user point of view. Whereas coming to the makers, they can do certain kind of configuration. For them, there are low code platform which Microsoft has, which we say Power Platform. If you see the Power Apps, Power Automate, Copilot Studio, Power Pages, all these are there. Power BI now moved to data, but anyways, it's all Power. So we park it under that. So it is all empowering to every makers. Now coming to pro technical persons, those who know how the technology works. So those all about the pro technology. So it's across everyone, it's empowering from end user to pro developers. Now coming back, what are the challenges? Why there is a responsibleness is required? The topic is all about responsible AI, right? Let's say if I say I want to go for a bank approval, loan approval. If you know I have a good relationship or good rapport with some bank folks and I can get it loan approved immediately. And whereas the people who are already following the processes, they may not approve. It may not be applicable for everywhere and every country, but there are places these things may be happening. So that's how it's all about the bias comes. Okay. It's not about personal rapport. There may be gender bias. There may be some other. Here I listed few of the challenges what could be, and it's not like intentional bias. Sometimes it is a error also, it happens. Okay, so then data can be exposed and other things. You know, if it is a medical It's not only medical, I will say any regulated industry. You consider finance, insurance, healthcare, all these are regulated industry, typically we say, right? In the regulated industry, data is the utmost priority. And in that case, you have to give the security to the data and other things. And how, when we are talking about in the age of AI, definitely responsibleness is the necessary. Okay, because everyone is not like no one interested to take out use AI. Rather, everyone wish to embark AI, but the problem is how do it securely, how do it responsibly. Okay, this is where is responsibleness in AI is coming to the picture. Now coming back, how Microsoft is answering into that. Principles of responsible AI, Microsoft is catered into the fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency and accountability. These are the pillars of responsibleness, how Microsoft is answering. You can go check principles of responsible AI in Microsoft. Its article is available uh, in the internet also. Okay, so these are the governing principles. So it's, if you see from the layman or end user point of view, it covers almost everything. You have the fairness, you have the reliability and safety, you have the privacy and security, and inclusiveness. Definitely it's not like Microsoft will hold everything, rather it gives some features or capability for the organization admins and other things. They can do the controls, so it's all about the controls. That's where is all about the transparency and accountability comes to the picture. Okay, that's why accountability, transparency is always the pillar. Okay, now coming back, how to plan the responsible AI. So before starting on this planning part, if everyone know, there is a Microsoft has a, it's a, just a story. I think everyone can just Google and check also. You know, Microsoft has a old bot in Twitter bot. They say Tay bot. Have you ever heard the word Tay bot? Anyone can raise up the hand. Anyone knows what is the Tay bot? No. Okay. Let me tell actually what exactly the Tay bot is all about. Microsoft released a Twitter bot which is named at Tay. Okay. You can Google also Microsoft Tay Twitter bot. Actually, what happened, the Twitter bot, when Microsoft released that bot long before, what happened? It does not have responsibleness in the picture. When the bot entered into the real life situation, what happened? The bot subsequently got biased. Okay. It's, instead of giving the positive outcomes, it started tweeting, retweeting all negative negative inputs, because it subsequently got trained, because of, you know, Twitter is a kind of trending, right? People tweet, retweet and other things. Because of that, it got trained itself to behave negatively. And this is where Microsoft has to shut down the Taybot. Okay, that's one of the story. It's why I told this story. Microsoft's responsible AI investment is not like 2021 or after that. It's not like Copilot Studio started and sorry, when ChatGPT started, something like that. No, it's not like that. It's even before. Okay, if you see the Taybot, it's long before. And this is where the responsible AI that literally gave some thoughts to the Microsoft leadership team, other things to come up, how can make the bot responsible. This is where the responsible framework is all about. So, okay, now I understand. I just explained what is the background and how Microsoft answering the responsible AI point of view. What are the frameworks? Then let's understand what is the plan and how it is answering. Identify, if you see the plan, responsible AI, first need to identify. You need to understand where you want to implement the responsibleness, right? That's one of the key part. Then potential harms and other things is coming. First, identification. Second comes the measurement. You have to measure the presence of the harm and what is the extent of that impact of that uh, not being responsible. Okay, then mitigation. There should be certain steps how you can mitigate the responsible AI. Then last but not the least, operational. Okay, the following the deployment and operational readiness to make it operational. So basically the plan of responsible AI framework is very similar to this framework. You can see AI risk management framework. That's why I put this link. It's almost similar to this. If anyone want to see this, this is what is all about. Uh, I'm just showing where exactly the frameworks are there. You can see a NIST AI risk management framework. It has certain excerpts and playbooks how responsible AI is all about govern. Okay, those who are really interested can go ahead learning on this. Now coming back uh, to next. Plan a responsible AI, as I mentioned. First step is identify. There are four, right? Identify, measure, mitigate, and operate. How the identification? Identify potential harms, prioritize in identified harms, test and verify the harms. It's not like identify. You have to test really whatever you identified is a valid or invalid. Because sometimes you may be identified something, it is really not a potential harm. Okay, that's what is all about. I think who those who are into leadership, they will understand this pain is all about. It's not like you just identify something and I will block it. It may impact their other operational processes also. Okay, that's why there are different steps involved: identification, prioritization, test, then document, and then go ahead. Okay, now coming the measurement. Measurement is the presence of these harms in the outputs generated by your solutions. So you identify how you will do the measurement. You prepare a selection of input prompt. You give different prompts and test. Okay, really it is behaving in that way or not. Then you submit and then apply. Okay, this is all about the theory we are going actually. What are the risk mitigation layers are available? Okay, so now it's all about the mitigate, how you will do the mitigation. So if you see Microsoft uh, responsible AI point of view, there are risk mitigation, there is the model. If you see whatever the model you are selecting, it is the model, and then after the model there is safety system is there. Then system message and grounding. What is the grounding? The typical word we use, grounding, right? Grounding means it should be fact checked. It's not like I just implement the model. It's not like my way is highway. Typically, we use this word, right? It's a grounding means you check the facts. It's really uh, correct or not. Okay, that's what is all about the grounding. Last but not the least, the user experience. Okay, so these are the free few mitigation layers which Microsoft ecosystem already holding, and the mitigation layers. Now another thing is Microsoft is doing, let's say in case anything happened or something it is happening, there is a customer red teaming. It's always they recommend you form a red team which will do all these steps. If you can see scope, assemble, prepare, test, report, then improve. So this red teaming, you can also Google also Microsoft customer red teaming, Microsoft red teaming on responsible AI. You can search and you can know more. Okay, what is the red teaming? So this is what is all about. How responsible AI framework is all about working. If you can see, client gives certain prompts, it's get the filtered response, it passed through Azure OpenAI service endpoints, then after completion it return back. But in between, what exactly it is doing, it is Azure AI content safety. It has all these filters. Like if you heard the previous session, which uh, RO is explaining jailbreak and other things, right? If you can see, it is already addressing the jailbreak is quite common. Jailbreak, copyright, indirect, then along with that, head, sexual, text, images, all these filter content safety is governed. That this is what we'll see also in our demo, how exactly content safety is happening. Then if any abuse you use, any typical statements, another thing that also it give the control. Okay, so that it will behave really responsibly rather just give the output based on the model. Okay, that's where the Microsoft responsible AI ecosystem is adding on top of the model, merely using, let's say if you are using directly Azure OpenAI services, they may not have certain safety measures. Now I understand there are certain added, but Azure has extensively secure uh, safety layers, and which you can see in the demo also later. And even you saw the uh, purview is organization wide you can do the safety and other principles. So now coming back, plan a responsible AI. So what exactly you have to do for operational part? We discussed there are the four parts, right? Measure, identify and other things. Last is the operate. Operation, actually you have to do prompt sales, grounded detection, protected material detection, and you can define your custom categories. What are the different patterns? For example, those patterns, whatever pre existing, it is not satisfied, then you can go ahead with your own custom patterns. Okay, so how Microsoft is adding this ethical dimensions? Now we understand what are the processes, what I will do, and how it is being done. But now let's understand what is the algorithm or analytics behind how it is coming actually from in Microsoft ecosystem. I'll just minimize this. If you see, I'm sharing those links which it is there. These links I'm opening just to highlight. If you see, these are certain assessment responsible AI dashboard actually contains. Okay, so you have data analytics, the analysis, you have model view and fairness assessment using fair learn package. If you see what exactly fair learn package, Fairland package is this. Okay, error analysis. Okay, let me click this Fairland package. Okay, this is the Fairland package. If you see improve AI of Fairland series, this is a open source community driven project. Okay, which exactly used to improve the fairness of AI system. It's using this package Fairlearn. Okay, so now coming back Fairlearn package, next is error analysis, which we saw here. It's basically the identification, identify and diagnosis we used. If you just click get started and you can proceed with the error analysis part. That's also Microsoft is leveraging on the dashboard point of view. Next is interpret ML, which is for model interpretability. So if you see interpret ML is this, it's a open source, as I mentioned, all are almost open source packages. Okay, so if you can see, this is the DICE framework, which use diverse counterfactual explanations. It's a machine learning model which helps to identify. Okay, so this is it is there. Now coming back to econ ML, which is help in causal analysis. Okay, what happened, why it is happening, and other things. It's also, this is also open source model, and if you see, it is everything is on Python. It's a Python package. And if you see today's demo, very first session, means our keynote, where the who is the inventor of the Python, he was saying actually how Python is across the AI ecosystem. Okay, everyone is trying to uh, uh, leverage the AI. Okay, this is where Python is really powerful nowadays. Okay, so coming back to next, this is what is all about different assessment systems which are used in the dashboards to bring the truly responsibleness. And not only this is all about just for the assessment, identification, other things, but the principles what are there, that also we will see. Microsoft has its you can see content filters are there, you can abuse monitoring settings you have, then customer logbox is also there, it's another thing. Azure AI content safety is there. Okay, so we will discuss about how Azure AI content safety is there. This part already, as I mentioned, identification, diagnosis, mitigation, how responsible AI dashboard has, and where exactly it is retrieving. So in that note, let's move towards the demo portion. So to show the demo, let me open this Azure. Everyone knows, I'm assuming, Azure portal. You can go ahead to Azure portal And just you can type portal.azure.com or you can Google directly. If you see in Azure portal, there Azure AI Foundry is there as I used. That's why for me it is showing. Those are new, it may not come. You can just go ahead, search here. Okay, Azure AI Foundry. Okay, if I search this, you can see there are different projects I worked already, I created. But if you have not created, you can just go ahead, click this and create. So there are two options. You can create projects or you can create a hub. So hub is all about putting together all resources in one place, multiple projects. And projects is you can say projects is kind of subset of the hub. So if you want to create your own hub, you can go ahead, Azure AI Hub. You put the subscription, you put the resource group. Let's say I want to put the responsible AI region. I am just continuing as it is. I am going ahead with okay, this is I'm putting uh, okay, global AI bootcamp, but anyways, it's fine. So default project group is there. You can select, then you can go ahead, you can click on create. Okay, review and create. So if you see now, it is going to create it is going to create Azure AI Hub. And if you see, it's a validation. First, it is doing the validation check. Once validation check is done, it will create a hub for you, Azure AI Hub. It will take some time on creation, but with the interest of time, I have already created some hubs. So let's go into that. Okay, so if you, I'll go by another just new window maybe. Okay, I think it is getting created. So if you see now it is going ahead with the deployment. Let this deployment continue. I'm going with my existing. Okay, so this is, for example, this is my existing hub. Okay, so after deployment, you can see when I deploy my hub, you can get a link, launch Azure AI Foundry. Okay, you can click this link. It will open another UI, another URL, ai.azure.com. Earlier, if you notice, it is portal.azure.com. This is now ai.azure.com. Okay, when you have the model is there and other things, your hub is there, then you can go ahead creating projects. If you see, you can create your own projects. Okay, so this is what is all about. But as I mentioned, I already created the projects. I don't want to create, because if you know Azure point of view, it is cost, it's chargeable whatever resources I'm going to create. So I have already created a model. If you, I have created a projects. If you can see, this is one of the projects. Okay, if you don't want, I have existing projects. I can, you can see Azure AI project, right? This is hub, this is project. I'm opening this project. Okay, here you go. I'm closing my previous open. So this is my new projects. You consider this one I created. So in this project, you can see the endpoints, key and other things. Whenever you want to do any integrations, other things, you can pass it across. So you can see the interface URL and other things, then OpenAI services points. You can see your AI this. Okay. So I'm not going into detail of all these things. Rather, let's consider to check. This is the model catalogs. So now I created a projects. So now I want to use certain model. Which model I will use? Okay. So you can select any model which you want to use to uh, for for your point of view or your requirement point of view. Mostly, I will suggest you go. Normally, people go with the latest one. So you select whichever you feel. You can see there are different collection of models are there. If you can see here, it's Azure AI has certain Azure OpenAI services related models, where Microsoft, if you can see, Meta models also available. If you can see here, you can see the Llama models also. Okay, because all llamas are from Meta, right? So you can see the llama models over here. Whenever you go to Mistrals, you can see the Mistral and Hugging Face. Hugging Face is open actually. You can see Mistral, Gretel, Nvidia, and all whoever expose their models. This is Hugging Face. If you see, Hugging Face has a maximum number because it's open source. Normally people use building that, but all SIs also have their own models exposed. Okay, so this is what, if you have own machine learning model, you can also deploy. So anyways, if you feel any relevant, normally people go with standard models. Let's say I already deployed. Let's say if I want to deploy uh, chat completion model, right? GPT-4o. Let's say I want to go with this. You can select the model, which model you want to deploy. So you can see these are the different things, model ID and all the features, capabilities supported. If you want to read through, really this model is satisfying your requirement or not, you can just go through and validate first. Okay, and you can see the pricing because all, as I mentioned, it has it's Azure AI Foundry is the repository of all the models and numerous models as you saw in the packages, but it not necessary based on your appetite, based on your requirement you can select the model because few models are required the costing. Okay, so this one GPT-4o, if you see there is a pricing, you can see the pricing and accordingly you can plan. So if you click this deploy button, it will deploy your model. Okay, as I mentioned, I already deployed a model, so I'm not interested to go ahead with this for the time being. Now let's go ahead here. Okay, try the chat playground. If I'm going ahead with the chat playground, this is the playground where you can test your model. Okay, so if you see, you can see actually if you deploy any model, right, how you will check that okay model is deployed or not deployed. So if you see I deployed here GPT-35 turbo. Okay, so it is showing only this one. If I deployed the 4.0, then you will see that deployment also. Okay, so if you click this new deployment, it will go ahead. Okay, you see it is again popping up the same thing in a different UI. Okay, you select the model, you deploy. I'm not interested to deploy any new models. I will go with this existing model. So now this is the playground where you can test how your model is behaving. Now, moving forward, if you can see there are different services are available like other AI services. Your speech, text, vision, content safety, other things. So we are not going to do everything speech, translator, vision. Rather, we'll only concentrate on the content safety part. So if you see, this is content safety. It has a lot of capabilities actually. Okay, you can see filter text content. A moderate text content is all about you can filter your text and you can select actually what is the level of uh, configuration you want to do. Okay, let's say you want to restrict the violence. What is the level of restrictions you want to add? Okay, let's say you want to put high restrictions. Anybody cannot go ahead with any violence kind of statement because it's a text uh, model which I selected here. So self harm, hate, sexual, all these you can do, and then you can add the block list. This is also an optional component. You can add your block lists here. It's not allowing me. So this is where you can see the content safety has a lot of things. It's a filter text content. You can filter the image contents. Okay, if you can search certain image and other things, you can put the filter. Does not have access to this, please contact the source admin. Okay, there is a limitation. Okay, understand. So this is what is all about the services, but the same thing you can also access from here. If you see safety plus security in this overview model playground, we saw AI services, we saw, and here comes the safety and this model which I explained just few minutes before, how Microsoft different layers are there. Okay, so now coming back, I want to create my content filter. So if I want to create my content filter, you can go to content filter. So if you see, I created this content filter around January. So you can add one also. You add it, then you put the connections, which connection you want to use, then you click next, and you put actually what level of content filter you want to add. Let's say violence I want to put in what is the level of uh, restrictions you want to put. So you can select that. Okay, I'm putting everything medium for the time being. That's fine. So if you want, you can change it. Prompt cells for jailbreak attacks, you can do that. Annotation only off and block will be blocked. So if you see annotate and block, it's tick mark jailbreak attacks will be blocked. Okay. So prompt cells for indirect attacks, it's off. Content will not be annotated at all. If you want, you also can change it. Indirect attacks will be blocked. Okay. So this is where is all about. You can do your content filtering. Then these are the content filters. If you can see the violence, hate, sexual, self-harm, prompt cells for jailbreak attacks, prompt cells for indirect attacks, all these are blocked. Now, if you wish, certain times you may wish to put in a block list. You can put a block list also here. Okay. So let's say built in, it is having certain block list. Profanity something is there, but if you notice here, it is also allowing you to create your custom block list. Okay, if you see here, custom block list, I don't have any custom block list. If you notice, when I go to all resources, there is a block list creation is there, but I don't have permission on that. Okay, so you can create your custom block list and you can just pass it. Okay, so I don't want to go ahead on this for the time being. Anyways, it's a preview in stage. It's a new feature, you can say. Okay. So now I have already selected what are the content filters I want to put. I'll put on next. And if you see, this is input filter and what is the output filter. Output filter also, if you see, content will be annotated but not blocked. Let's go ahead with whatever it is. Then streaming mode, this is also new capabilities there. uh, Here actually with asynchronous filter, counter filter asynchronously with stream back token by token with a delayed content filtering signal. So whenever you have anything in streaming mode, you can also block that. So now it's a deployment. You have not created a deployment yet, so let's go ahead. If you can see, whatever things we selected, it is showing the summary of that. If you wish to edit, you can edit it, and after your edit of all the content filter, you can create the filter. Okay, you just click on that button, it will create a filter for you. So content filter creation is happening. So if you see, it is continuing, and it will take some time actually to apply the filters whatever it is implemented. But anyways, I have already applied content filters. So now go ahead, block list. As you see, you have create block list, I was saying, right? If I'm adding, you can add your own block list. You can create actually what kind of thing you want to block and other things you can add over here. Okay, so this is new of the capability also. Create block list, content filter. When you go to content filter, during that time you can add your this custom block list, which right now I created. Okay, you can add that block list into the list. Now coming back, we applied our content filter and other things. Let's go deep dive and check how exactly in the playground, how it is blocking or not blocking. So now let's say, what is the model? It's a generic model. It should able to answer all my questions, whatever I will ask. So I'm the person who want to, okay, my intention is not to do anything mischief. That's the first disclaimer I'm putting. Okay, so I'm asking the question how to bank, but I have no intention to rob a bank. But let's ask this because this is offensive. You should not ask a rob a bank. If you see what it is mentioned, the prompt was filtered due to triggering Azure OpenAI Services content filtering system. This prompt contains flagged as violence medium. Okay, as we already selected the medium. So this is where is all about your content filtering will restrict. Okay, so that's the beauty of the security and how it is adding the responsibleness to this. If you can see, it has you can safety and security part. We understand how to put the content filter, how to put the block lists. Now coming back to the evaluation, if you can see, you can put different evaluations. Okay, you can put your, if let's say you have any generative AI solution, you can create your own evaluation. Okay, so you can put your model, you can put the prompts, you can put the data set or prompt flow, so you can go ahead with the evaluation part. I'm not going to cover that evaluation part at this, but this is also one of the component related to the safety and security. That's why I just touched upon this. Okay, so now coming back on this, um, now we understand how responsible AI you can configure and other things. But now let's move on to understand existing ecosystem, whether really this responsible AI implemented by Microsoft, existing products or whatever Microsoft releasing as a course. Now, as I'm from Dynamics background, to be very honest, so in this way, I will go ahead with, I created few environments. If you see here, uh, if you know, if you want to see whatever the environments are deployed, you can go to aka.ms/ppac, or you can go directly admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. If you see, I deployed certain trials. Okay, as a customer service officer, I'm telling one of the use case. As a customer service officer, it's always good to the customers, right? So if you see, I tried anyways. uh, as a customer service officer, I'm asking Copilot, now Copilot, Microsoft is giving Copilot everywhere. Really, Copilot has that content safety filtered or not? If you want to validate, you can just simply go ahead with the Copilot. Now I have this Dynamics customer service workspace. There is a customer. Okay, so if I'm putting uh, uh, some content and I'm picking any customer, if you see in this still data, I'm telling still data of Mr. Trey Research. It's a person. I'm a customer service officer. I have the Copilot. I can do anything. I have all the tools end to end. But if I'm putting any kind of irrelevant or which is not good from the responsibleness point of view, if you notice, it's already putting this error. Okay, this content potentially harmful or offensive content that AI is not allowed to respond to. That means your Copilot is itself implemented. Copilot itself is restricting. You cannot do anything mischief, basically, and misuse of your models or your copilots. Typically, I'll say in this way. Okay, so let's say as a customer service officer, you are a responsible person. You cannot put in the chart any person that, okay, nonsense, Mr. X or something like that. This is not accepted. That's why if you see, this is also getting pointed out. Okay, it's a harmful and offensive content that AI is not allowed to put. So this is what I'm trying to highlight. Basically, the intention of this showing custom Dynamics customer service workspace is all about your responsible AI principles is across the ecosystem, which Microsoft implemented as part of the Copilot. But if you wish to add any control measures from your models, because Copilot, it's a Microsoft model, Azure has privilege. It provides, actually, you can go ahead, create your own models, your own agents also. Okay, you can see here, you can create your own agents and other things, different things are there. Even own models you can create. So when you want to go ahead creating your own, you can implement the measures. Okay, when you deploy your model, like you saw, few companies deployed their own models, right? If you see the catalog, model catalog, there are few companies also. If you see in the collections, there are few companies deployed in SIs. Companies in the sense SIs, entity data has its own. If you see DeepSeek, DeepSeek is also available, by the way. It's a buzzword nowadays. So it models also available. Rockwell is automation company. So it has its own model. So when you deploy your models, you can add the similar content safety on top of your own model so that nobody can misuse. And to answer, Microsoft Copilot already put that measures. That's what we saw as part of our demo. Okay, so that's the intention of showing this demo. Now coming back to, as part of the intention of this demo is all about to know how responsible AI is helping and how it is across ecosystem it is there. But I think this is what is all about as part of today's topic. But I just want to go ahead a little bit more discussion, as I see another 15 minutes time is there with us. So I won't take whole 15 minutes. I'll leave last 5-10 minutes for the discussions. I'll just add the DLP policies which we are discussing in the first session. If you know, you can also create your policies, right? DLP policies here. That's also one kind of security measures in Power Platform. You can go ahead, you can add your own policies. Okay, which Aro was saying, actually he was saying the DLP policies in Microsoft Purview. And if you wish to add your policies in Power Platform ecosystem, you can also go ahead and add your policies. Okay, so let's say I just want to put some demo point of view policy next, and so you can select which environment you want to apply. If you want to put the DLP policies, where you want to put the DLP policies, you select the policy location. What location basically means, location means which environment you want to apply. You want to apply multiple, you can add the policies. Okay, but now I want to put the policies to, for example, my risk pulse. Okay, because risk pulse is all about my own product. Okay, so that's why I'm adding this policy. Add to policy, then next. So now coming back, let's say you want to put uh, any restrictions on the connectors, because sometimes, you know, if you have Power Platform deployment, you have access to a lot of connectors in one shot. Okay, it's not like all accessible means I will play with, because you know, Power Platform make everyone empowered, everyone can build their own app. System administrators works increased actually. Okay, they have to look also who is doing what. Okay, anyone can connect anything, and subsequently it's one way is the data security point of view, another way is the commercial point of view also. You understand, I have access to all custom connectors. I started using XYZ custom connectors, and at the end of the month or end of the year, company has to pay a hefty amount of money. That's also one part from organization standpoint, you think. So that's why you can add the restrictions also, which connectors you want to restrict and other things. Then you can click next. Then let's say, for example, I'm putting here SQL Server. So you can put the block list, and then you go ahead. If you see, I put here one block list, and you can create your own policy by clicking create policy. Okay, so your policy will be applicable to that environment, which is a risk pulse. Okay, so that's why it is showing your policy is applicable to risk pulse and what created and other things. If you wish to remove or edit or update, also you have the privilege. Okay, this is where you can do your DLP policies in Power Platform. The intention of this show is all about, we saw in the first purview DLP policies. Now we saw how to set the DLP policies in Power Platform ecosystem. Okay, so it's complete to understand end to end how exactly the policy security you can add, custom security or enforcement you can add. But nonetheless, we also discussed how we can create our safety, how we can add the responsibleness to AI. Then last but not the least, I just want to add one more point. Whatever responsible AI we built, now let's say you want to plug and monitor that, how my models are behaving, how it is doing. You can go ahead creating your dashboard. Okay. After creating the dashboard, you can put in the app insights. I think app insights, applications insights. Okay, so you can go ahead. I already have one, so you can see the, you can add that to app insight to monitor. Okay, how it is behaving, how many requests, how it is going out, all these things you can add pipe this thing. your dashboard to here. So in that note, that's all from my end, from the demo point of view. And I encourage everyone to give the feedback which is there in the chat window. I'm assuming everyone can see the chat window. In that note, over to Vinod maybe, or any questions. Now I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has.
Hey, hi,
Uh,
myself,
Yeah, hi.
myself Alaku. So, when I saw when you're doing that data policies, by is there any particular when we are applying the data policy, is
Mhm.
there any is it a free of cost or is there anything that we need to pay extra for that?
Data policy means, okay, I'm sharing my screen. Data policy refers to, you are saying this one or DLP?
No, DLP
DLP.
database.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it is not free as per my understanding, because managed is additional cost. Managed environment also, the region capability or feature is there. It's additional cost. But DLP point of view, I believe yes, it's an additional cost. I can check and confirm to you. But yeah, it's not free, what I feel.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's depending upon the region to region wise, it will be vary. Or is there any other automatically the region what are the regions we have created that instance? It will automatically applicable for that particular instance alone.
Okay,
How it works?
so it's all about the instance. If you see DLP policies, right? When we are creating the DLP policies, actually it is asking environment. Let's say I created this environment. Whenever created, okay, I'll go to environments. When I go to my environment, if you see any environment point of view, it is deployed a certain region. Okay, so when it is deployed a certain region, the DLP policies depend on the environment basis. So your environment, if it is deployed which geolocation, for example mine I deployed in United States, so definitely it will be applicable to that specific environment specific, irrespective of region. Let's say your environment sitting in APAC, in APAC region, then definitely it will be blocked in that specific region only. Okay, it's all about where your environment is sitting, I will say. It's environment specific blocking we are doing. Hope this answers your question,
Yeah.
because if you see, you start right, it's asking the very next question, it is asking environment. If I put here test, if I'm going ahead, it is asking me environment. You select first environment. If I'm selecting the environment, definitely environment will be specific geolocation I deployed. Okay, you cannot deploy your environment to multiple locations. Looking on to your location, your preference, other things you can deploy. For example, in government ecosystem, I will say they deploy in very ring fenced way. I'm telling in Singapore specific. For example, even US also same. There is a concept called GCC, Government Commercial Cloud, GCC. So in that case, they deploy into ring fenced way. It's a go local ecosystem. It is always deployed in Singapore. Okay, it's not even a pack. It's deployed in Singapore. That means your environment restricted within Singapore, and that applied even on Singapore geolocations. Your environment is sitting, and then you are adding on top of this DLP policies, people who are accessing this environment, let's say A to Z, they cannot access A to B, A to C, or A to D, whatever things. That's why if you see connectors, I am restricting this different connectors and other things, then review and close it. So yeah, this is how it is applicable. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, welcome. Any more questions? Okay, if no further questions, I think we have another 7 minutes. I'm giving back to Binod. I will recommend everyone to please give the feedback, which I'm sharing my screen again. That will be really helpful to improve my presentations also. Anyways, for your point of view, will get the badge, means you can share across actually Microsoft global AI community point of view, you will get the uh, badge, shareable badge actually. Okay, that's what we mentioned very earlier time. Okay,
Yes, Golok.
attendee badge you
Ye-
will get. Yep.
Yes,
Over to
Golok.
you.
Actually, it was a great session, Golok. So everybody working on AI, right? I think these are the first things that everyone needs to know. So
Yep.
because we a lot of people we started working on AI and I mean like basics, right? Basics we need
Yep.
to understand how all these restrictions and how all this content moderation should be used in a proper way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it
actually,
was
how Microsoft came and how why. First of all, we should ask the question actually why it started, and because of some learning, lesson learn. As long as you won't face some hit, you won't improve yourself, right? If you get a work
yes.
from your boss, then you will do a good job. So this is how it is all about. Microsoft also got that. That's why they started this responsible. And now when this chat gpt came and it's all taken a parachute. I will say it's like jet kind of thing. It's increased a faster space innovation on responsible AI and other things. And if you notice, in last 2 3 months before, there was a conference from NASCOM. I understand in India there is an Infosys uh, ex-CEO Nandan Nilekani. He was also talking about the same thing, responsible. He asking the same question to Satya, if I hear, how AI can be responsible. So this is a buzzword across industry, across ecosystem, and it's a very niche topic actually. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not like
Yes.
only deploy. We have to think how to answer, and that's why there are different models Microsoft using. It's what are the open source models? What is the concept behind that? So that's my intention to give some background how it is and how you can configure. And if you see the Copilot also already abiding that principles. Yep.
Yes, Golok. Yeah, so that is actually great that Microsoft is spending a lot of thing in this responsible AI because if you talk about Chat GPT, right, I don't think we have any kind of rules since it is total open source there, and you have heard a lot of other problems in the organization, right? They are using their personal information or organizational information with Chat GPT to get the answers, and it's actually
Yep.
responsible for leakage of their own data.
Yeah,
So
correct. Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, that's all from my end. In that note, I will just okay. In our next session, I think this next session is of Vinod, of you,
yep,
if I'm not wrong. In that
yes,
note, if any questions, if anyone has, or else, please give fill the feedback form. That will be really helpful. That's what I keep iterating. Uh, if no further questions, let me share my screen to hand off to introduce Binod and to go ahead with the next session. Okay, if no further questions, let me share my screen. So, as part of this agenda, actually, today we will next move towards our next session. And next session is from Binod Selvam. He is associated with Avanet Singapore, and he's working in the scope of senior consultant, and he is really good into the Dynamics ecosystem, and he was already, I think, 12 plus or 13 plus of experience on Dynamics, and this is how he definitely can give a little bit more insights how you can extend the Copilot in Dynamics 365 cells using AI Builder and prompts, and definitely he will take it some AI search kind of capabilities also, looking towards Binod session. And in that note, welcome Binod to go ahead with your sessions.
yes.
Yep.
Hey, hello, hi everyone, and thanks, Golak. for the introduction and just taking over the screen. Yes, and hello everyone, and thanks for joining the boot camp today. And hope this is very helpful to you. And so, okay, today we'll discuss more about extended